Sshfs mount without compression or encryption. I am a very frequent user of Sshfs for mounting various disks over the network. I do however have a very small machine, with an atom processor, from which I need to mount a directory using Sshfs. Is it possible to disable all compression, and perhaps even also encryption when mounting using Sshfs, as to limit the CPU usage on the machine from which the directory is mounted?
There is no way to disable encryption, this is SSH after all. And it looks like compression is disabled by default as you have to request it with the C switch. But you may want to check your /.sh/config file for settings regarding compression. If you add the following lines at the top of that file, compression should be disabled.
You can mount with compression equals no to turn the compression off. It is not possible to turn encryption off, wouldn't be Sshfs after that. Smiley face. If it is slow, I suggest to use other way to mount a directory, like through Samba, NFS or FTP.
Although the high-performance SSH adds a NUN cipher, the ARC4 cipher is nearly as fast and is included standard. Use O ciphers equals ARC4. I've been using this over the local network and I get about 85% of 100 megabits per second Ethernet or about 10.625 MB SES. In response, Vava's answer, Sshfs would still be what it is even when SSH's encryption is off, as the authentication protocol would still be active, without which you might as well be using Telnet. Note for at OSGX I recently found OpenSL cipher selection which includes the following graph. The following is the results section from that page. The graph and the results are questionable as they don't state how the benchmark was done and on what hardware, but I think that they aren't that far off. 100,000 kilobytes S is my threshold for acceptable performance. This represents one CPU core of 8 in my case, running at 100% utilization to transfer 7 18-bit S of data, which is a reasonable saturation point for a gigabit Ethernet link. RC4 is the fastest cipher. If you are using a processor which does not support ESNI. AES 128 is the next fastest cipher, and much faster than RC4 if you have ESNI support. It's about 54% slower if you don't. AES 256 is slower still, and unless explicitly configured otherwise, any browser that supports AES 128 will also support AES 256. What has been quoted above clearly shows that ARC4, and also AES with ESNI, can saturate a gigabit link on a modern machine. If you don't need encryption, the NUN cipher from HPNSSH is even faster, but you would only need it if you need to saturate a link with several times the bandwidth of a gigabit link or if you need reduced CPU usage.
For SFTP with no encryption, use Sshfs plus SOCAT. On the server side run. And on the client side. Source, this URL.
Channel Android Party.